Replay is sponsored by Brancalonia.
Brancalonia is the all-Italian setting for the 5th edition of the world's most popular fantasy role-playing game. Set in a topsy-turvy version of medieval Italy, this unheroic, picaresque, and roguish world quotes, collects, and mixes references from contemporary Italian fiction and pop culture. You get the likes of the wooden puppet from Pinocchio, the half-demon Malebranche from Dante's Inferno, or even the Puss in Boots, some even as playable species. Spaghetti Fantasy is a low-magic, gritty fantasy with little money for special effects, whose atmosphere is very similar to spaghetti western movies, but with swords instead of guns. The tone is lighthearted, its protagonists are neither heroes nor anti-heroes. They are knaves with little will to fight, chicken thieves, bandits with a heart of gold. After triumphing at the Emmy Awards in Indianapolis, gold for Best Electronic Book, silver for Product of the Year, Best Writing and Best Setting, the fantastic world of Brancalonia returned to Kickstarter with 3 new volumes at the community's request. The Bounty Kingdom Gazetteer, the Spaghetti Fantasy Bestiary, including recipes for cooking monster meat and managing its side effects, and a compendium of adventures. Intrigued? Play Brancalonia and other Acheron games like Lex Arcana and Inferno
at acheronstore.com/RPG-Brancalonia.
I took the lead. Somebody's heart.
Years ago, we played a game. We recorded that game and shared it over the airwaves of a high school radio station. WKEY AM, 1360.
People listened. So did other things.
20 years later, we were invited to play a live reunion show for the hardcore fans.
Little did we know, this time, the game is real.
In this world, the players are confronted with their truest desires
and deepest fears.
And only they can decide when the game is over.
Welcome to Replay.
My name is Haley, my pronouns are she, any, and I am playing Rory, the Fool.
My name is Jen De La Vega. My pronouns are she, her, and I am playing Fern, the Dictator.
My name is Alex, my pronouns are he, him, and I am playing Andrea, or Andrea, the Emotion Knight.
My name is Banana Chan. My pronouns are she, they, and he, and I'm playing Deliria, the Godbinder.
My name is Kappa. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm playing Lucas, the Neo.
And my name is Aram. My pronouns are he, him, and I am playing Jacob, the Master. Welcome to the finale of Replay, Chapter 6.
Mixdown.
The ocean quiets and mirrors the stars, sky and sea becoming one. Dual moons cross each other in the placid darkness, and the Nomad sails on as you all get some much-needed sleep. There are no bells to greet the dawn, no bacon or freshly squeezed juice, just the bellowing of an orc as Jacob's island grows near. An outcropping of obsidian rises above the waves, steep and narrow like the head of a spear. The mountain opens into a crater that belches smoke and sulfur. Rising 200 feet above is a radio tower, its steel feet anchored around the edge of the volcano. A massive turbine sits just above the crater, its blades slowly turning in the ever-rising heat. As you approach, the sun swells suddenly behind the tower, red and heavy and swollen in the acrid smoke. And below decks, Deliria and the new demigod of Socks are beginning to come to an understanding.
So, listen, I got one more message before we get to the island, okay? And this comes right from the bottom. Some things need to change. Specifically, your past.
My past?
You've heard the broadcast. You've heard the story.
Yes, but I'm not sure if I can change my past.
Well, you can't. But Jacob can. Jacob has those little cheat tokens. They can change the broadcast. And if the broadcast changes, your past changes.
I see. So I have to get to Jacob first before everyone else does.
You have to do whatever it takes. But he has to use the token. You have to make him want to. Somehow.
Any tips?
You're the one who knows them. I'm just a suck. La 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 la.
And sadly, there is no breakfast spread this morning because there is no toady. But the orcs try. So there's there's bread, just one loaf of bread that's been torn in half and just had fish guts shoved into it. And there's two of those just sitting there seeping against the wooden table that's been badly set up, and they forgot chairs.
It's the worst anyone's ever done it.
It's pretty bad.
You see, continental breakfast.
Well, they don't know what continents are. It's all water. I think Andrea is going to try, instead of showing up for breakfast, is going to try go find Naomi. If Deliria won't listen to Andrea, maybe Naomi will.
And you start to head back. And as you do, a door flings open. Anna comes stumbling out with a stake in her chest, and striding out behind her with blood dripping down her neck, stumbling, is Rory.
What?
Well, Andrea cannot increase emotion beyond the level 3 by himself. He needs external aid for that. But if he could, he would definitely be more than overwhelmed right now. But this is overwhelming, and this is just... he's just gonna scream.
You scream. You see Rory slam a hand to their neck and change. They shift from Rory back into Naomi. But in the middle, it's shaky, and there's another creature. Something that looks human, but has no distinctive features. No eyebrows, no real cheekbones, just something soft and fleshy and upsetting. Definitely hits that whole uncanny valley. And then boom, back to Naomi.
Andrea is going to try pinning this creature to the wall.
Okay.
Just like rush forward with the chain and just pin them to the wall.
Roll your strength.
Can I use my chain as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
That is 2 successes.
Wrap her up in it, slam her against the wall. And you just see like her fluctuate now. She's you, and then she's Rory, and then she's back to Naomi.
Who the fuck are you? You want who? Someone!
We heard the scream.
Lucas, you get there just in time to see this thing shift into you and then shift back into Naomi.
I'm gonna kneel down at Anna and just see if there's anything that needs to be done here. What happened?
This stake is deep in Anna's chest, and as you're there, you can see tendrils of gray ash beginning to extend from it. And she just grabs your arm. Oh, sweetie, I picked the wrong target, it would seem. Thought she was one of us, but she's a changeling. They don't taste so good. You ever go to McDonald's and get that drink where you put every single soda into one soda?
Yeah.
Shipwreck, swamp water, that's what you probably call it. That's what they taste like.
Okay. When we get out of here, out of die, I'll say so, I'll reach out or something. I don't.
Oh, sweetie, We both know you won't. And then ashes.
Oh my god.
Fern comes around the corner. Why aren't any of you at breakfast?
You just get there to watch this ashen form of Anna vanish into Lucas's hand. And this guy, all the ashes just spray in the face. Oh, and then you see Andrea pinning Naomi against the wall with blood pouring out of her neck.
Why does this ash taste spicy?
Why does it taste Cajun?
What's happening?
I don't know. I've been trying to find out.
That's not Naomi.
You just see this creature. It's like they relaxed for the first time. And they just become, again, this nondescript form, this upsettingly human-like thing. No, I'm not Naomi. You guys kicked out Naomi. I was just trying to get by.
You needed to go somewhere? Where are you headed?
I wasn't headed anywhere. I was on a boat. I had people taking care of me. I had a crew. I was doing just fine until you all showed up.
Oh, you think you're doing fine? You think you're doing fine? I'm gonna grab them by the neck and drag them out to the crew. See if I can find any orcs outside.
They're all around. In fact, they've stopped doing things and are now taking notice.
Hey, fetch! And just pulling it over.
They look at her and they look back at you, and she shifts back into Naomi. She's like, hey, it's okay. You know, everything's just fine. Everything's exactly. And they look at each other and like, fake, fraud, imposter. And they just descend on her, screaming. And she's taking them out. Like, she is killing one and killing the next, but they're taking chunks out of her, roaring, screaming, biting and tearing. And they just destroy each other. Until there's only Naomi and this one orc left. Daggers sunk deep in each other's guts, eyes locked in hatred as they tumble off the boat. And once again, you're left with a deck full of corpses.
It's never going to smell good here, is it?
I'll just start throwing the corpses overboard one by like, this again.
Just picking them up, chucking them. And you're strong as hell, so it's actually not that hard. Just grabbing them, flinging them over.
Gonna miss the biceps when we go home. Yeah!
As you're doing that, the ship just pulls up. Like, it comes around this area. Up until now, like, the orcs have been manning it. You assumed they were steering it, but the ship is seeming to steer itself. The Nomad just pulls right up into this long single dock that extends maybe half a mile out from this huge tower and just settles nicely against it.
So what just happened?
Yeah, Andrea, what was that?
I don't know. How should I know? How should I fucking know who that was?
Did she attack you?
I went to go talk to Naomi, and it wasn't Naomi, and nothing is what it was supposed to be, and nothing is what it seems, and no one gives a shit. Let's go get fucking Jacob and figure what the fuck is going on.
As we're getting off the Nomad and onto the dock. No. That's not what I'm talking about. Not the shifter. I'm talking about you. Why are you so angry? You know the water bearers never resorted to that much violence.
Maybe the orcs were right. Maybe the second season did get soft. Maybe Naomi was the guest that was supposed to be. Maybe the writing was supposed to be Zoe's writing all along. It's a whole new world. Clean slate, reboot, remake all of it from the beginning. New cast, new voices, new writing. And I won't be there again.
What is your problem?
You don't even... What's my name?
Andrea.
It's Andrea.
You told us when we met not to say it like that.
Do you think Jacob would have been able to do any of this if I hadn't asked him for the tapes? If I hadn't asked Fern for the tapes? If I hadn't gone through every single piece of writing and paper and tape and put it all into digital files and put it out, you would be nothing if I hadn't done what I did.
I just don't get you.
You don't have to get it. We just have to go and talk to Jacob, and we can figure out what's going on, and we'll play it by ear. We'll just go from there. It will have a new story, and I can be in the story, or I don't have to be in the story, and you will find a way of dealing with that.
Rocks start crashing down, like it feels like a real earthquake, and then everything settles, and it's just the tower gently swaying back and forth.
Look, fine. We do have to go talk to Jacob, but you've been so obsessed with retelling our story that you forgot that you're part of it now too.
Am I?
Yeah.
You all knew Deliria didn't fucking write the story.
I heard my name. What's going on?
I learned that yesterday.
I did not know this.
You've all been having your little asides, your little huddles, your little chats. I organized SharkCon. I brought you all back to play for the fans, to play. It wasn't for me, it was for everyone who looks up to you, everyone who cares about you, everyone who felt seen and heard by what you did. And it turns out she didn't even fucking do it.
Oh, you're talking about me.
Yes, I'm talking about you.
What a surprise. Not really. I'm not surprised these days by much.
Thanks to you.
That's just...
I love this. I love that. I love this is happening during the, like, you want them to be engaged, but they can't be because you did that.
Let's go find Jacob.
Quite honestly, I'm terrified about what you're gonna do when we find Jacob.
I don't think we want the same things.
There's the crack on the side of his face just like opens up just a little more. It's like, I guess we'll see if there are any more surprises awaiting any of us in that tower.
Okay. So you walk in. You walk along this long dock, up these carved stairs in this outcropping of rock that this tower sits upon. It looks very much like a giant radio tower. You pass under it, and the latticework rises above you to this single light that's blaring red at the very, very top. And in front of you is a small little room with a single door.
Does it look like it has a lock on it? Does it have like...
Imagine like a little round one-story tower just sitting right there, as if a single room was encompassed in a little round windowless box.
Andrea looks like he's about to storm through, and then he hesitates when he gets to the door.
And I'm just gonna put my hand out in your direction. I'm not gonna touch you. It feels like you don't want that. He's just a man, Andrea. I don't know what pedestal you've got him on, or us on. He's just a man. Whatever happens in there.
Andrea, you came to visit Jacob one time. And when you did, he had you come up. He was clearly flustered to have someone over. And you were surprised at his small apartment and this small room, so packed with things and writing and soda cans that it felt even smaller, that only that space around the desk was really dedicated to any living in this space. And as you fling open that door, it's the same thing. Jacob has put himself in a room, a small room, and shut out the world so he could focus and do this one thing that had to be done. It was so important. But he's just recreated the same small, windowless room he spent the last 10 years in. He doesn't even look up. Hey, listen, it's just, there's a lot, and he's got monitors in front of him. Dozens of them, all showing different parts of the world, all showing different things that are happening. It's just, it's a lot more to like keep focused on But hey, it's good to see you guys. How's everything going?
Wait a minute. And Fern is looking at the screens, and it's other people and other towns.
It's other towns, it's other villages, it's NPCs. There are parts of it where it looks like he's just like one of those city builders where he's got half of a town built. There's another world map over here. There's all this extra stuff Jacob's building to flush out this world that doesn't even matter to you all right now.
Deliria puts a hand on Andrea's shoulder. Andrea, there's something I need to talk to you about. I was thinking a lot about what you said to me earlier, and I think you're right. I think that there needs to be a space for you to create a little bit of the story. You know how you could do that?
No more surprises, Deliria, just tell me.
There's something that Jacob hasn't told you. And those are his little cheat tokens. And with those cheat tokens, you can convince him to change the world a little bit to your liking.
This is truth. You can be in the story. You can be included. You can be a character, not just an NPC.
It can change the past. It can rewrite the past.
Andrea just clicks at that point. That's when he gets it. That's when they understand what Deliria is saying. It's like, I could be in the original.
You could have always been. Perhaps you were, and it was stolen from you.
Andrea deflates a little bit. Composes himself. Okay. I understand.
They want to leave, but you wish to stay. This must be resolved.
Hey, Jacob.
Yeah, hey, Andrea, yeah, what's up?
Are you done here?
Screens start to blink out. Foom, 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 foom. And he's like tapping his space bar. I don't know, everything just went dark.
Yeah, you done here? Are we all going? Are we all leaving? Are you leaving with us?
Oh, and Jacob pushes back. Well, guys, again, like, you have to tell me when that's how this world works. We just, if you're done, we just all say we go home.
Well, that's a relief.
Do you want to go home?
I would love to go home.
Yeah, I thought I made that clear. I'm sorry, I've been a little scatterbrained. We just all join hands in a circle and basically say there's no place like home. And then boom, we go home.
Fern has her hand up already.
Yeah, we're holding hands. Me and Fern are just holding hands.
We are holding hands.
Okay, all right, listen, okay, is there anything else you wanted to do before we leave? Because this is it. We can only get one shot at this.
What do you mean one? Why only one?
I mean, I don't know. This is just what I was told, and everything else that I was told is true, so I'm assuming that's true too. Yeah, once we leave, that's it.
Andrea sighs and is like, oh, well, that's surprising. Even Jacob isn't the one in control anymore.
Jacob, have you been paying attention to us this whole time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been checking in, you know.
Checking in?
Well, yeah, I mean, I did the thing with the big old squid thing. I thought that was fun.
Oh, it was not fun.
You guys got the detail, right? Where, like, there's other yous inside, well, not yous, but there's other players inside sacks in different worlds. You guys got the multi-layered world connecting threads I was putting down there, right? Yeah, excellent. Okay, great. Yeah, so I was writing a lot of backstory. I figured we were going to be here for like a couple months, so I was writing a lot in the background. But like, if you guys are done, like, I get it. I don't, it's, I just thought you'd be having fun.
Months of real time?
Well, wibbly wobbly. Time's different here.
Andrea is just gonna start just chuckling and move a little closer to Jacob, just reaching out his hand. Yeah, so we hold hands and we go home?
Oh, yeah. And Jacob goes to take your hand.
And Andrea just jams the hook into his stomach.
Okay. I would like you to roll to hit.
That's 2 successes. Your guard goes down to 0.
2 successes, and my guard is down to 0. So describe what happens.
It's literally just like holding up to the hand, pulling you further, pulling Jacob in, and the hook just goes in and the chain starts snaking through. It doesn't make it all the way through into Jacob's flesh. It just snakes around and starts constricting at the torso, at the stomach, at the waist, just pulling.
Which is weird because Jacob's got that whole bare-chested open thing, but there's just like this magical energy that the chain hits, this kind of like green digital-like energy that it cuts through, and you see that all fade, and you see Jacob's eyes get wide.
What are you doing?
Let's go into initiative. Andrea's gonna act first because they engaged this.
Andrea just did.
That was your action. No, good point. So who's got the next highest dex?
I think most of us have 3. Yeah.
Everybody except Deliria, right? I got 2.
Also, Rory has that thing.
I don't know if I can use that thing.
I don't know if you need it because I think you would just act first.
Yeah.
I think that's just who you are. Yeah. In this particular instance, you would just be acting first. So you just saw Andrea jam a hook into Jacob.
Instinct. I want to just tackle Andrea. I want to get him away from Jacob. I don't know what he's doing. My body, move your body, stop.
Excellent. So you're using hand to hand. So go ahead and roll your dexterity.
And I do have my full dice back. This is so exciting. That's so many fun numbers. It's only 2 successes, but one of them was a 6.
Okay.
1 success goes away because I have a defensive 1, so that's 1 success.
But roll that 6 again.
There's another 6.
Roll that 6 again.
Go, Rory.
A 4.
So that's 4 successes.
Woohoo! But one of them went away because of Andrea's defense, which would get me to 3.
So you have 3 successes. Describe how you tackle Andrea.
It's very cartoonish. It's a running leap, full horizontal, arms out. Like I get him around the waist and just I turn my body into a torpedo.
Andrea's like in this really dramatic moment, and you lied about. It gets completely taken out. Are you trying to hurt Andrea or just occupy Andrea?
Occupy. I wanted to push and disengage more than I wanted to wound.
Okay, excellent. So you have now thrown Andrea back, and you are in between Jacob and Andrea.
Yeah, I assume we're both on the ground, but I would like to be in between them.
Rory goes to tackle Andrea, and then I go to body block and just put myself in between.
Just step in the middle. As Jacob's getting back up, holding his stomach in fear, and he pulls his hands back, and there's no blood. He's fine, but Jacob looks white. Like physical confrontation wasn't in the cards for Jacob when this began.
Yeah, I'm and facing Jacob. I look Jacob. Everything okay? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. Yeah, I guess I have like a force field or something. I don't know. Like that should have hurt.
Yeah, you wanted to tell the story of a world, but not our story.
I just want to tell a really great story. I just really wanted you all to have a good time, and I just wanted us to have a good time. I guess I kind of messed that up.
So why were you here and not with us?
Well, it was hard to control, and there was so much to think about. And it was overwhelming. When I did it in front of you, there's all these other voices, and, you know, it's always my job to do the prep. That's what a game master does. So I was just doing the prep.
We're supposed to tell this story together.
Well, we are. Kind of.
And we left out Andrea.
Yeah, and I look back, and those two are on the ground struggling.
Get off me!
What was that?
Are you also a puppet? Oh no, Andrea's been a puppet the whole time.
I'm trying to think. I think in my original idea for Andrea, they are either German or French. So it's just like just swearing in German, just trying to get Rory off him.
Fern, your turn.
Are we being aggressed still, though?
It's tense still.
It's tense.
Combat continues until someone wants to fight. And there is someone right now who is definitely still fighting.
Yeah, Fern just takes her ribbons and is attempting to tie Andrea's hands.
Go ahead and roll your dexterity.
Oh boy. She had no hits, so it's a 2 and a 3.
Okay, here's what happens. You go to wrap your ribbons around Andrea's arms, but Andrea struggles and flips over, and your ribbons get caught in Andrea's chains, and that's enough for them to get broken free from Rory. So Andrea's back up on their feet and entangled with your ribbons.
Oh, we just need to all calm down. We just need to calm down.
Are you using the voice?
No.
Okay.
Though you see the color brightness change in the room.
Yeah, you can feel the threat of the voice.
It is a dull brown that becomes a nice tan and then goes back down.
Okay. Deliria.
I am searching for those tokens on Jacob's desk.
Oh, no, they're literally on his waist.
They're on his waist.
So he's got this ivory belt, and there's 4 right now, little tokens.
I'll call
hanging
upon
off it.
you. Yeah, okay. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna try and get those.
I would like you to roll dexterity.
But I don't have a lot of health, so maybe I can't do anything unless I owe a god debt.
You can always bargain for a miracle.
You can always call upon me.
Oh my god.
Just get me close.
Tobin's, I just need a little bit of help.
Just get me close. Get me close. And I can get one.
Okay, I'm gonna inch closer and closer towards Jacob.
You just edge right up to next to Jacob in the middle of this very, very tense scene. Oh, gosh. Oh, sorry. You're kind of scary right now. Like, the whole pinhead thing is wow. I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong, but wow. And then, like, around Jacob's waist, you can see the puppet, like, run off your shoulder and down to your waist and peek out and, like, start looking around Jacob's side. And I'm going to roll for the friggin' puppet. Hang on. 6, a 5, and a 5. So you're talking to Jacob, and you see this puppet go down, and you hear like a little pink, and you see it come back up, and it's got a cheat token in its mouth, and it looks right at you.
Thank you.
And swallows it, and then vanishes into your back, and you all hear a rumble start up again. A loud and terrible rumble, and the sea begins to boil as rising out of it is Tobin's huge, 100 feet tall, water pouring off of him.
Arise! Fools! You have given me all I need! The new gods shall rule! The old must die!
And you are in a fight with a demigod. Who's next?
So, yeah, Fern is in the open doorway looking out like, really?
This whole time, I thought he was working for the other god.
I am the great liar. I am the great deceiver. You should have put me on when you had the chance.
Tobin's laughter shakes the ground and roils the sea.
The idea of a giant sock kaiju is
Sockzilla.
I thought we were fighting evil Jacob this episode.
Yeah,
I was not expecting
I
evil
guess
sock.
not.
it's just Jacob, and then all of a sudden
Just our regular friend Jacob in a big sock.
Andrea, unless Rory, you want to jump the line.
I'm trying to figure out if that's how this works. At the start of any combat where I'm not ambushed, I can take a single action before anyone else. So I think it's way at the beginning.
I would say this is a new combat.
Oh yeah. It's a new enemy.
So if you want to jump the line, you can, but you're also second.
If it's a new encounter, everyone's guard goes back up.
But before you is Andrea.
But before me is Andrea.
That's true.
Who's currently wrapped in ribbons?
Well, is entangled
Tangled, yeah.
with Fern, yeah.
Do I try to reason with the man? Or do I go fight a sock?
Choices.
The things we ask ourselves every day.
A real fool's dilemma.
Okay. Andrea's the more pressing concern, I think, immediately, because we would like everyone to be fighting on the same team against the big sock.
Fair. Yes, you would. Truer thing has never been said.
You're the one who made it a sock puppet. I'm just speaking in the reality you've created.
Deliria created a sock puppet.
I don't know that Deliria made the sock puppet. As far as I know, that's just how it works here. I will get up and I will just both hands grab Andrea's entangled arm. I don't know how to help you. I don't know what you need. But we need you right now because there's another goddamn water monster. And I would love to get home to my cat alive. Will you please help us?
One condition.
Okay.
Don't leave me out of it.
The reboot?
Please. Whatever it is you choose to do, please.
Andrea, I wasn't even going to be in the reboot.
I just want to be... And I know it's not healthy, but this is all I had, okay?
I have a beautiful publishing company. And I'm sure we could find something for you. I'm gonna be honest, the reboot's lost a little bit of its shine with all the goddamn water monsters. Maybe you can help with the sequel.
There is something I can do. And looks at Fern.
And she's trying to untangle herself, trying to get away from you. She's actually scared, yeah.
You're able to get your ribbons out and pull them all back.
There is something I can do, but she needs to tell me. Fern?
What do you want now? Are you gonna hurt me? I helped you. I gave you the tapes. I gave you access to the back room.
I think he's good. I think we're okay.
The world will tremble, all shall bow before me.
Oh, put a sock in it. I'm trying to have a moment.
You know, we had a nice moment up in the crow's nest. We were talking about the painting.
It was pretty amazing. I need you to make everything feel amazing right now.
Amazing? Well, I can do that.
And Andrea falls to his knees in front of Fern.
She whips her ribbons in circles, and as they are spiraling, she takes a really deep inhale through her nose, and she is wicking color from the walls and siphoning them into the ribbons to sort of support the voice. You know, she is a true audio-visual, experience. And she says,
You must be amazed with yourself.
And she uses the voice to try to boost Andrea.
Andrea is willing.
So roll your d4 first.
Woohoo! That is a 4.
Andrea is currently at an intensity of 3.
Roll your d6s for your wisdom.
That is a 2 and a 4.
5 total successes. Now, you can move up and down. So you could go 3 up and 2 back and raise them by 1. Or you could raise them by 5.
Are you sure this is what you want?
She's echoing when she says that. And it's a wind tunnel of color.
The voice is loud and terrible and beautiful.
You'd be surprised.
Okay, do you give it all to Andrea?
I do. All the color leaves her ribbons in these circular patterns and spiral right into Andrea's forehead.
Andrea, for a moment, you are truly amazed, more amazed than you've ever been in your entire life. But it's not about other things. They wanted you to be amazed with yourself. And you're shown all these moments from your life, all the time you help people, all the time you found little bits of audio that no one else could find, and you see all the people listening to the stories you saved. You see a little grandmother you always hold a door open for at the market. You just see all of these people who have been amazed by you. And you see all of this joy that you have made. Didn't have anything to do with the show. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it's just who you are. And you get to sit in that total amazement of yourself without reservation or fear or doubt. You just get to sit in that love of yourself for a moment before it becomes completely overwhelming. So you went up by 5. So you're now at 8.
Beyond inhuman, and I will use creative violence, which allows me to defeat a god. I need to roll and see if it works or if it works with bad consequences. I have to roll an 8 exactly, otherwise you or someone close to you suffers wounds equal to the result. That's a 6.
I would like you to describe how you take down Tobians.
As Fern pumps all of the amazement and makes Andrea realize the amazing things that he has done, even though he twisted them and he took them wrong and he made them about himself in a way that he really should have had some thought about and maybe gone to therapy about it instead of trying to pump everything into parasocial relationships with people who were older than him by 3 years and then just kept attaching himself to. He takes the chain and he starts lassoing it over his head and launches it at Tobians, trying to aim directly inside the mouth. Follows like a grappling hook behind and wraps himself around Tobians multiple times. And then just pulls at the one single thread.
And just rides it around in circles, unraveling them as you spool back towards the ground and land. The whole head part of Tobian shifts to the side, a giant seam opens up and you can see inside them and there's nothing. Darkness pours out of them, pools of nothingness because there's nothing inside them. And they collapse and they're coming straight for Deliria. At the last moment, Deliria vanishes and Jacob appears where they are. And you see a little cheat token dancing across the ground where Jacob transported you out and put himself in your place. Replay is sponsored by Adventure Dice. Adventure Dice is your Canadian source for dice, role-playing game books, and accessories, and other tabletop gaming goodies. Many of our products are handcrafted in Canada. We're dedicated to creating gaming spaces that are safe, accessible, and welcoming to everyone. As gamers ourselves, we believe in offering quality products that we would use at our own table. Find us at your friendly local gaming store, at conventions, and online at www.adventuredice.ca.
Jacob?
What did he do?
I guess he used a cheat token. He probably teleported himself in my place?
There's no way. He's completely gone.
We can't leave without him, right?
Andrea looks up like, this is not going to come as a surprise, but he did say the dead don't get a vote.
1 fair goal detected.
Fern goes running to the threads to go look.
Pulling handfuls of thread, ripping through it, tearing through it, and eventually you find Jacob. He looks up at you and his eyes are hollow and glowing. And it's his voice, but it sounds like it's coming through a speaker.
Jacob?
Fern.
What happened?
It just was dark. And now I'm so hungry.
Lucas, you can see a little fair gold token spinning in Jacob's chest.
That's what they mean by the fallen.
Oh no.
His eyes get really wide and they glow brighter.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I didn't make it.
It's still Jacob, but there's a hunger behind those eyes that is growing.
Fern is backing away. That's what happens if you die in this world?
I look at the fair gold that I got at the beginning of the day, and I read the name on the back of it.
The coin in your hand has a name. This name is Susan. And as you look back up at your old friend, there's a coin in his chest as well. And the name on that coin is Jacob.
I don't think Jacob's coming back with us.
Jacob kind of looks down, kind of sad. He just shrugs. He's like,
Well, it's not that different, is it?
Can I teleport Jacob's fair gold into my hand?
yeah, you can try. I would like you to roll your dexterity plus your neo die.
8, 4, 6, 1.
It just appears in your hand, and you just see Jacob's eyes go out and just collapses to the ground.
I'm gonna hold on to the fair gold, not spend it. I look on the back, it reads Jacob's name.
It does.
All you wanted to do was tell a good story.
And you can feel it. It feels warm. It feels familiar.
No story is this good that you have to sacrifice yourself for it.
There always are some. And the god of fate strolls into the middle of you. Always consequences. This has been a very consequence-filled day, more so than I could have imagined. And I've even called in my favor yet.
Deliria, is there anything you can ask your god to do? I guess you're like the god of this world or something. I don't know. I don't feel that great.
I don't think my god can... I mean...
You don't think I can what?
I can ask him to bring back the dead.
I can bring back anything, and you have given me so much today, including cutting out that traitor.
Technically, that was me.
You've been so very good. What would you care for?
If we brought back Jacob, would he still be the same?
For a price.
What's the price?
You, my dear. I can't just let go of my favorite acolyte when you've done so very much. And I've lost my demigod. I need a new one.
Hey, everyone, I'm gonna choose to stay.
Thunder and lightning crackles on the horizon.
I don't think the world likes that.
I'm going to make a deal with my god, and in exchange for me, he'll be able to bring back Jacob, and Jacob will go back home with all of you.
That's such bullshit.
Jacob just sacrificed himself for you.
What the fuck does that even mean?
You deserve to go home.
You don't want to go home.
I should be here. I belong here.
It doesn't have to be the same. You know that, right? Home doesn't have to be the same.
Well, why does it matter to you if I go home with you or not? You're all going to be able to go home.
Are we?
Even if we could. Come home. Stay with us.
But then you won't get Jacob back.
You can't ask me or any of us to make that choice. But I don't want to watch you sacrifice yourself. I already watched somebody do it today and I didn't like it. Please come home with us.
I don't think I can.
I'm gonna, face to face with Deliria, put Jacob's fair gold in her hand. Do you want us to say? You have people outside of Dai. What do we tell them?
Tell them this was my world. Tell them that this was something that I really cared about. And I don't know, make something up to my family. Just tell them I moved to Cancun or something.
Write it honestly this time.
I will.
Then a deal is struck.
Blackness begins to swirl around all of you. Little cracks of lightning shooting out, striking Deliria, striking Jacob. Energy seems to pass in between them. All of your dice rise off you, spinning in circles in front of you. Jacob comes back and you can see his fear and then realization what's happening is you're all being pulled into the air and floating in circles, and you each can reach forward and take your die, and a hole opens up in front of you. Cast your dice in to return. Keep them to stay. What do you all do?
Fern looks around at everyone else as she reaches her hand forward.
Please hand me your die. Thank you. Fern vanishes from the world.
Andrea goes to put the die through and hesitates. Looks at Jacob, looks down at Deliria, and then puts the die through.
Andrea vanishes from this world.
I grab my die, look at Jacob, look at Deliria. All I wanted to do was capture that feeling again. That there's no going back, huh?
There never really was.
I'll push my die through.
And Lucas vanishes from this world.
Rory takes a hold and throws it.
Just before you do, you hear a voice. Miss.
Oh my god.
Throw it wide.
It goes wide. Rory vanishes from this world. And now it's just Deliria and Jacob. And Jacob looks at Deliria. Wow, you really were a star.
Oh, you were the true star. You know it.
I just hide behind my desk. But it was fun, and it was good to see you. I hope this is what you want.
Even though you're a jackass sometimes, it was nice to see you.
Enjoy your world. And Jacob takes his D20 and tosses it in and vanishes from this world, leaving Deliria alone. The rest of you pop into a bar, right back where you were. And here's your drinks. Oh, I see two of you have gotten up. Must have gone to the bathroom. I'll be back with your check. And goes back, and you're all here. Deliria's not here, but Rory isn't either. Rory, describe the new world you have now dropped into.
Rory, head full of just a sinking realization the moment that she made the connection of, oh, that's what they meant. And had just been thinking about all of the things that she had decided were going to change in her life. She was going to start meeting up with Fern, and she was going to like figure out Andrea as a person and try and make him feel better about human connection. Maybe get him a job writing. He has a lot of passion. She was going to go home and pet her cat and like turn things around. And then all at once became that is still not allowed. And instead of popping back into the bar, Rory finds herself alone on a floating rocky island, suspended in endless twilight space, stars twinkling into eternity, and just a series of these floating islands connected by these just so fragile looking bridges, onwards and upwards and downwards, impossible architecture. She stands up, kind of shakes out this ringmaster coat and those melting Icarus wings, and takes off into space.
Hey, one sec. You did so good. Take this. You'll need it. And hands you Lucas's lightsaber.
Hell yeah.
Oh, nice. If you can travel between worlds, go feed Greg for me.
Aw, don't worry about it. When you're done here, not much time will have passed. I just need you for one more thing.
That's so much weirder. And she'll just run and leap and soar off.
Andrea, when you get home, how does your life change?
He's gonna go to therapy.
Good choice.
He's gonna delete his social media apps. He's gonna leave one open, but it's going to be a private account. It's going to be just to be able to talk to other people. It's not there's no. Maybe starts posting photos of dogs, a couple of memes every now and then, but it's just it's a private account.
It's like Jacob's car Instagram account.
It's like Jacob's car Instagram account, yeah. But it's just going to be he's gonna work on his obsession. He's going to remove himself from the narrative in a way that is healthy, in the exact opposite way that inserting him into the narrative was unhealthy. And maybe he'll try meeting up with Fern if she will let him show up at the radio station, and just very silently and very sheepishly just if you need some cleaning done, boxes moving,
Alphabetizing.
alphabetizing. Got it. Gotcha on that.
Speaking of Fern, how is your life?
She has a makeover.
Hell yeah.
Fresh haircut, new wardrobe, brighter colors, and you could see her walking out of the TV station because she just auditioned to be the weather lady.
Yo.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wearing a smart, magenta business suit, hair matching what it was in the other world, and she's got little ribbons tied in there, and she is just that colorful lady you see walking around town now.
I love her so much.
Me too.
Lucas, how's life?
Life is weird. The experience has definitely changed Lucas in terms of how stories get told. Instead of going around and being a performer, it's now writing, taking classes, and also holding classes and workshops for people that want to do that, to do what Lucas has, because there's a wealth of knowledge and experience that other people can benefit from. Every now and again, Lucas will stop by Deliria's family's place. The working lie has been that Deliria really needed to take some time away he doesn't know when he's going to tell them the truth, but it's going to happen at some point. And he did follow up with Anna. Rom, I actually don't know what's going on with Anna. Like, you need to tell me outside of the world to die what happened with Anna.
Anna's got like her own TikTok, right? And like pushes cosmetics and does little makeup tutorials and does pretty good. Like does some bank there, but it's not really creative. Mm-hmm. It's really just kind of putting out the same content over and over to the same audience.
Okay, she's got her bag.
And she will meet you, but you have to do a skin routine with her on camera.
He's given it a shot and really trying to assess if they've both grown.
Anna has.
She's still all about, you know, the influencer life, but has grown.
Even when you fall, don't let me fall. So she done mighty shy. Nobody knows.
As she has adapted it into her life in a relatively healthy way. In fact, it's kind of a good pattern forward for you. And she seems pretty cool for having you around.
All of my public appearances now are through her, like sort of her channels. I've definitely gone back, taken a back seat and helped others to tell their stories.
Does she soft launch you? You just show up with like charcoal masks until we finally get the full face reveal a month later.
Just a hand in the Instagram story.
It's like holding the products, handing her the makeup sponge.
Amazing.
All right, Rory.
Yeah, I think Rory spent a good amount of time in Floating Island Space World.
You refused to name it. You just called it Floating Island Space World.
Floating Island Space World, and we're all very happy to be there. It's got great inhabitants.
Everyone's like, this is the world of Arasta. And then you're like, nope, it's Floating Island Space World.
I think Rory spends a good amount of time there, but never loses sight of the changes she wanted to make and the life she wanted to go back to. So I do think maybe a day or two after you all get out of the bar and try to set your lives back up, Jacob and Lucas and Fern get a text in a group chat that's just like, tongue sticking out, winking emoji, I'm back. And then also, what's Andrea's number?
Jacob quits Vibe and doesn't get away completely from telling stories. I think Jacob follows Lucas's lead. He was too obsessed with his own stories, too obsessed with building worlds, too obsessed with people respecting him because of what he made and not for who he was. And so he took all these skills that he learned and he turned to other people. He found young queer kids trying to tell stories and basically became the engineer for all of these young artist voices to have their own stories told, and made better things than he ever could have alone. And really learn what it's like to work with people and to not have to hog the credit and to not have to get acknowledged for it, just to do things to help other people tell stories because the stories are important. And I think for the first time, he's truly happy. Deliria. What is it like to stay? What happens to you in this world? What do you build?
I think that Deliria and her god continue to create a world that she is excited to see. Continuing on with, you know, Zoe's work, Jacob's work, Fern's work, everyone's work, in creating something that is similar to what once was, but a lot more terrifying and a lot more eldritch god style of world.
You can take a little buddy relationship with the Deep One, and the Deep One's just really old. It doesn't have a lot of new ideas, so like the Deep One's like, you know, kind of softens up, but everything is fucking terrifying that you're making. So it's kind of cute and loving, but you're creating this world of beautiful horror along with it all around you.
We're trying to modernize it very much like, you know, H.R. Geiger type of style versus just like, you know, tentacles. There's a little bit of bone work instead. And I think at home, like in the real world, Deliria's family, is probably going about their day. They're just like, whatever has happened to Deliria, it's just, they're probably coming to a point where they're just sort of accepting it now. But I think that her teenage daughter is walking home one day when she sees, sort of like in Death Note where you find this book in the middle of the street. Yes. She finds this manuscript, and it's the reboot version of Die, and she takes it to school, hangs out with her friends, and she's just like, hey, check out what I just found.
Let's play this game.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Perfect.
And I think we're done. I'm going to hit stop. And I'm going to stop my local recording.
So do I have to send you back my die?
My name is Alex Valente, pronouns he, him. I am a bisexual bilingual Britallion on Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh land. I have been a cleaner, publishing intern, waiter, scare actor, editor, university lecturer, language teacher, shop manager, and more usually, a translator. I can be found in tiny writing on the credits page of books when publishers remember to name the translator, and lurking in TTRPG spaces when people forget I'm there.
I'm Banana. My pronouns are she, they, and he, and I'm a tabletop game designer and writer. I'm also the owner and co-founder of the RPG and small box board game publishing company, Game and a Curry. I love horror movies and cheesecake a lot. You can find me at Banana Chan Games on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, all of the social media.
I'm Jen De La Vega. You might know me as Vivian Lakewood on the Shadowrun podcast Fun City, Murkesa Maldar on the Stillfleet miniseries Float City, and The Keeper on Cozy City, a Brindlewood Bay mystery. I also happen to be a chef and cookbook author based in Brooklyn, New York. You can find me online as Randwiches. That's the word sandwiches, but replace the S with an R.
My name is Haley Whipjack, and I'm an educator, podcaster, and a passionate fan of making fun things. I am a co-host, game master, and a player on TTRPG actual play podcast Unprepared Casters, while also pursuing personal creative projects on my TikTok and YouTube channels.
My name is Christian, better known as Kappa in most online spaces. I use he, him pronouns. I am a performer, producer, and writer in the TTRPG space. I've produced, performed in, and organized events with Friends Roll Dice, Roll20, Asians Represent, Utopia, and many other groups and organizations to forward the work in uplifting marginalized identities in the TTRPG space. Occasionally, I'll appear as a guest in actual play streams, podcasts, and talk shows to lend my voice and expertise in storytelling and character-driven narratives.
And my name is Aram. I'm a producer, designer, photographer, and voice actor living in a quiet town off Lake Michigan. I'm a co-founder of the storytelling podcasting collective Dead Ghost Productions, co-host of the Dungeons & Dragons podcast Kill Every Monster, and the creator of God's Fall and of Now and Then. I also did the editing and sound design for Replay. You can find all of my shows and all of my social media at aram.gay.
Thank you for joining us for the launch of Dead Ghost Productions. We are a queer-run and owned studio and a proud member of the Realm Network.
Keep up to date with Replay and all of our projects by following us on Twitter at DeadGhostPro. Find all of our social media and all the shows we produce at deadghostpro.com. Listen to episodes of Replay early and ad-free at patreon.com/deadghostpro.